Magandang araw po muli at ngayon ay June 29, 2022 at ngayon po ay last Wednesday of the month. Bukas po ay quarter end at month end at semestral end. So maraming significant ends ang bukas, ano? At bukas din po ay inaugurasyon ng ating bagong presidente. Welcome po sa Stock Market Today. Kung first time niyo po sa channel na ito, ako po si Benji Chodoro, isang retired bank officer na nagsimula mag-invest sa Philippine stock market noong 2007. I do this report every day, which I started August of 2020. Nire-report ko rin po ang latest news tungkol sa inyong paborito at pinaka-aktibong stocks. Kung gusto po ng content, iniimbitahan ko po kayo mag-subscribe sa aking channel. Kung meron po kayong stocks na gustong ipa-review, paki-comment lang po sa comment box at aking ipa-prioritize. Hindi po ako financial advisor. Anything I say dito po sa aking channel ay hindi po financial advice. Ang ating news ay tungkol sa MER-PEDC. Kasama ang ating financial headlines at ang resulta ng trading sa ating PSE ngayong araw, June 29, 2022, dito lamang sa The Stock Market Today. Okay, ang ating financial headlines ay galing po sa Business World. Maynila to start distributing new water in July. Then Solar Power Philippines closes deal for over 60% of its planned renewable energy. MWIDE's anti-dummy case versus officials is dismissed due to amended PSA. And this is our news, our main news. MER-PEDC power supply deal gets provisional approval. I think it's a MWIDE. I think I've already reported that yesterday, before we reviewed our stocks. Okay, so let's now go to our main news, which is on MER-PEDC power supply deal gets provisional approval. MER-PEDC and Panay Energy Development Corp has secured provisional regulatory approval for their power supply agreement for 70 megawatts to augment the electricity provider's requirements for this year and succeeding years. In its order promulgated on July 27, 2022, baka hindi July ito baka June. Sa July, next month pa. So, sabi niya dito, July 27, 2022, the Energy Regulatory Commission said it had verified the capacity covered in the agreement and found it consistent with MER-PEDC's 2022-2030 power supply procurement plan. Even with the 70 megawatt capacity procured by MER-PEDC, it still expects a power supply deficit equivalent to 792 megawatts in the year 2022. Laki nito, no? 792 megawatts. 70 lang ang isa-supply, no? Thus, the procurement for new power supply through a bilateral contract in order to ensure continuous and relative and reliable electricity for its consumers is justified, the regulator said. It added that not addressing the deficit in a timely manner will expose the utility company's consumers to the volatile prices in the electricity spot market, which averaged 5.21 per kilowatt-hour in 2021. The 15-year power supply agreement, or PSA, had been forged after MER-PEDC initiated a competitive selection process in which PEDC emerged as the winning bidder. The provisional authority given to the contracting parties, PSA, is subject to the conditions and modifications. The application rates will be at 3 pesos and 10.79 centavos per kilowatt-hour at the minimum energy take-off at 75% plant capacity factor and a 2 pesos 33.09 centavos per kilowatt hour at 100% plant capacity factors regardless of source. Okay, so yan po ang ating main news, and let's take a look at your comments here. Okay, so we can now go. I think these were the previous day's comments pa. So let's now go to the index on how it performed today. Okay, so let's put up our indicators. Okay, the PSEI ended today at 6,303.19 or 42.22 points down. That's 0.67%. So meron short red candlestick today against the green candlestick, which gained 106 points last Friday. Meron siyang short candlestick, but it's still short of the short-term indicator. And in general, pababa pa rin po ang trend ng ating index. And if we will be drawing a parallel channel, ganyan po yung itsura ng ating index. So it's still trending downwards in spite of the two engulfing green candlestick and a short red candlestick. Pababa pa rin po siya. So temporary lang po yung kanyang taas. Tingnan man natin yung market activity. 98 companies declined, 97 advanced, while 45 remained unchanged. The all-share index is also down 0.34%. Yung ating sectoral indices naman ay mixed. Ang financials, holding companies at properties are down, led by properties at 2.14%. Pero ang gainers naman ay tatlo, industrials, mining, and services. And the sectors in the red dominated, kasi slightly up lang po, but let's take a look at the most active stocks, Tignan natin si MWIDE. MWIDE is the largest gainer today, at 26 or 28.10%, followed by then let's take a look at the most active: Converge, MER, URC, ICT, and let's take one mining stock, FNI. So tignan natin si MWIDE. MWIDE continues to move up. Naku, talagang red or green engulfing candlestick with volume, and I think this is the second day na nagsasurge siya, This time, this is a breakout. Kasi tignan nyo yung volume, napakalaki, The volume for MWIDE is 20.83 million. Pero hindi po siya nag-figure dito sa most active, But probably the reason for this is the decision of the court on its anti-dummy case, Nanalo sila dun. And the court decided in favor of MWIDE because of a new law excluding airport operations. Now, MWIDE is now above ang pinakamataas kasi yung black, Ito yung 100-day, yung long-term natin. And this is a turnaround, So the trend is now moving upwards for MWIDE, whereas last Friday ay nasa below pa the short term. And 3 days ago, oversold po siya. Ngayon po ay bullish po yung MWIDE, nasa 64.49 na po yung kanyang relative strength index, and it's very strong. Now, yung previous resistance na naging support na ngayon ay nandito po. Nasa 431, ito po yung support level, but the stock is now at 465. So the next resistance level, I would put it here at 517. Yan po. So ang pinaka-support niya is now at 431, and the resistance level is at 517. Bullish po yung stock. Okay, next is Converge. Converge is recovering, but it ended with a doji today, although it gained 10 centavos from the previous day, no? So it opened at 2180, ended at, teka, hindi ko yata mag-gets to 2180. Okay, it's flat, ano? It ended flat actually. Opening and closing are the same, but the price is 10 centavos higher than the previous day. Kaya po green yung nasa kanan. So last Friday, nag-close po siya at 2170. So right now, it's just touching the MA20, and the RSI is now at 45, meaning it's gaining, and 3 days ago, it was oversold. Pero the trend is still moving downwards, no? Kasi yung kanyang presyo ngayon ay nasa resistance level na po. Yan po yung pinaka-resistance niya, because when you look to the left, meron pong support dito na naging resistance ngayon. Okay? And the lower support, of course, as we know, nandito po sa 1870, which is more or less an area. Support and resistance area po yan, hindi po yung exact point. Next, we have MER-PEDC. In general, the stock is moving upwards. At kung titingnan niyo po yung black line yan, yung long-term moving average natin, nasa ilalim pa po siya. Although it lost 3 pesos today, nasa 355, ay masasabi nating on the long term, it's still moving upwards. Yung ating RSI nasa 45.34. Let's place the resistance here at 375. And the support is here in this area at 332. In general, it's moving upwards, though RSI is below the midpoint, it's 45. Then URC. URC, umabot to ng less than 100, and it's still moving up. So if you were able to buy at this level here on June 15, it went as low as 94 and closed at 94. Yan po ang pinaka-support natin. And then a week later, nagkaroon siya ng breakout with volume last June 27, June 28, yesterday, no? Nagkaroon na naman ng isang breakout, no? So nagkaroon ng continuation, and right now there's a short candlestick with volume. So yung pinaka resistance niya ngayon ay nandito sa area to. Its resistance level nasa 107, and the next resistance would be here at 113, more or less po. So it continues to move upwards, and it's now above our short and medium term indicators. So in the short and medium term, the trend is moving upwards. It still has to reach the moving average, the 100-day long term, which is now at 111. So RSI is bullish, nasa 60 na po. Okay, let's do ICT. ICT, okay, ended with a shooting star. And pagdating po sa technical analysis, yung shooting star po ay hindi magandang pangitain, ano. Okay, in general, the stock is still bearish, and it started to get bearish about June 1, ano. But dati po pataas po siya, and it has been rising since at this level, July 2020, up to this point here, when the 100-day exponential crossed over our candlesticks, and it has been bearish then about June 1 or the first week of June, no? But right now it has begun to rise again, and I see the support at this level, 181, and take note, there was a green engulfing candlestick here, pero nagkaroon po ng 3 successive reds. Kaya we are back to square one here, June 24. nag-rise po uli siya with a solid green candlestick on June 28 yesterday. But in general, ang tingin ko po dito sa stock ay pababa pa rin. Pero fundamentally, tingnan natin si ICT, ang presyo po niya ay nasa 279, ano? Right now, ang presyo niya po is 195, which gives ICT a 43% upside. Well, it is bearish right now at 46. And the nearest resistance, I see it here at 204. So the stock reached a high of 203 within the resistance area na po yan. So in general, it's still bearish. And then finally, we have FNI. FNI is one of the top gainers today. It gained 6.67%. FNI is global ferronickel, no? And probably influenced by nickel prices. So nagkaroon po siya ng green candlestick yesterday with a gain of 2.27%, but now it gained 15 centavos or 6.67%, ano? And it went as high as 244. So right now, yes, let's do a parallel channel. So more or less, ganyan po yung movement niya. Still, shall we say, moving downwards. Although the two green candlestick is a good sign that the trend may be reversing. But in general, RSI is still, well, about to reach the midpoint, nasa 48. And the price today at 240 is slightly above the moving average of 339. So na-reach na po niya yung short term, no? But nasa itaas pa po yung ating long and medium term, which would mean in general ay pababa pa rin po yung stock and based dito sa parallel channel natin, ano? So yung pinaka-resistance based on this channel is at 257 and the support is at 212. Okay, so yan po ang ating report sa stock market ika-29 ng Hunyo 2022. Ito po si Benji Chodoro nagpapaalala, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay at hanggang sa muli. Stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.